is where the prostate is. So you don't have to go inside the booty hole. You can actually just push on the seam, and that stimulates the prostate gland as well. And that they apparently really like that. But yeah, so that's why for male and male, anal sex is still very pleasurable because of the fact that it hits the prostate, and there's a lot of nerve endings in your booty as well. So the girls, the G-spot, prostate, they're the equivalent to each other, but apparently that's why if you ever see, like, I mean, Target has them now, sex toys. If you go to Target, seriously, if you go to Target and go where the tampons and pads are, they just look like a little box, but if you open up, there's like a Velcro front to the box, you open it up, and then bam, sex toy. And you'll see them. CVS, yes, CVS has them too, a lot of them. And so that's why when you look at the toys, a lot of them look like this. And the reason because is for finding.
Thoughts, feelings?
I just want to know what the need is. What is the need?
I don't know why they are teaching this in school. I honestly don't.
Because that's not sexual education. Sexual education is teaching you how to use protection and have safe sex. She's just teaching you about G-spots and what feels good for who. Why does anyone need to learn that? Like, education should be about actually, I don't know, you could say that's learning things, but what is the need to learn that in an educational environment?
Yeah, there's things that don't need to be in school, and talking to kids about gay sex and anal sex is not one of them.
I mean, I don't know what age group that was because they looked quite old in there, but regardless, whatever age you are, you could have all 60-year-olds in there. You don't need to be teaching people that.
It's just not a place for it. No. It's just not the place for it. And I've said this 100 times. These people are strangers. I do not want a stranger talking to my son or my daughter about pleasuring another individual. No. There's a time and place for it. It's not with a stranger, and it's not in school. And a lot of these teachers are not even qualified to be talking about this shit. And then they get drag queens in school.
She's just telling them everywhere that they can go and buy sex toys, and she seems to know a lot about it.
I thought I'd seen everything, but this one is just beyond words. It is a note from a constituent who says, "Hi Bernie, this is a worksheet that my 10-year-old daughter brought home from school," and it includes a photo of the worksheet. "Part of her homework was to discuss with her father his erections and ejaculation."
Whoa, pause it. Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm an adult. Never in my life, walking, living this earth, would I ever want to ask my dad about erections. And that specifically said asking about his erection. You want a little girl to go up to her dad and ask about his erections. Are you okay in the head? Like, this doesn't make sense to me, Michael. How is this a real thing? How is this in schools? How is this? Oh my God.
This is what I said not too long ago on this channel. It's in drips and drabs. Little by little, they start to put these things in the curriculum. Little by little, the slippery slope starts to become very, very steep. And then suddenly you just find yourself in free-for-all. And that is where we are now. We are in free-for-all. We're in free-fall. It's too late. We're off the slope. We're falling now.
I'm actually gobsmacked.
I find this very disturbing and sickening, as indeed do I have to say. I have complained to the school and was told it was just part of the curriculum. Can you advise who else I should make a complaint to? Well, I could go on for days who she could complain to. My daughter still plays with dolls and writes letters to the tooth fairy. There is no way any little girl should be told to ask these questions. Well, so say all of us. What the hell is going on in this state when 10-year-old girls are told to go home and talk to your father about his erections and about his ejaculations? What the hell is going on here? How the hell are we supposed to protect our kids when this sort of perversion is in our schools? This is what is being dished up to them on a daily basis. In a primary school, not even a secondary school, a primary school. This is just unbelievable. It's staggering. I could not imagine The reaction, I have 3 daughters. I could not imagine the reaction of any of them if they were told to do that. They would be traumatised for life. I don't think they'd ever recover. I'm not sure I'd ever recover.
That's what I'm saying. For a 10-year-old, that's insane. That's very, very young. And you really would be traumatized. And I think it's very uncomfortable for the parent as well.
It would be weird to tell a kid it would be weird to tell an 18-year-old to go home and talk to their father about his ejaculations. I don't know what's going on in the schools. The media tells us to care about certain individuals, and they rarely ever talk about this stuff, if ever. All the things that the media tell us to care about, I don't think those are the things that we should be caring about. Yeah, this is the shit we should be caring about. They are poisoning the youth with this shit.
Honestly, it's gone to an extreme now, and I just don't know how all of this is actually happening. I don't know how nobody's putting a stop to it, and I don't know how anyone considers this normal or sane of mind. That's mental health issues right there. To tell a 10-year-old girl to go and talk to her dad about his erections and ejaculations.
Yeah.
In my brain, Michael, it's actually just not making sense.
It doesn't make sense.
I think that's worse than that bloody sex education show. Like, it's just weird. And I'm telling you, I'm homeschooling my kids. I can't cope any longer.
Homeschooling is becoming more and more popular because the people that we're supposed to trust these children to for 8 hours a day forget about the bullies. Forget about all the people that they tell us to hate on the internet. Forget about the Andrew Tates or whatever. Those are not the people we need to be worried about. The people we need to be worried about are the people that control the curriculum. The people that are teaching these things to the children. In no world should a 10-year-old girl be told by one stranger to go and speak to their father about his erections. That's crazy.
It's just a lot of weird stuff happening in schools now. It's like they're not going to school to just learn normal stuff anymore. It's
something sinister is going on. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the word to put to it, but something nefarious is going on.
Is this the new world order that Eminem would always talk about?
I don't know. I don't know.
What was that noise?
They're here to get you. You said it.
Did you hear it though?
I didn't hear anything. You're just paranoid.
No, I'm not paranoid. I heard a noise.
This is just deplorable. This is just deplorable. And it seems to me to be a part of the ongoing war by the Andrews government against children, in particular, in this state. Let kids be kids. A 10-year-old girl should not be exposed to this sort of material. I think it is deplorable. It is deplorable. And I challenge anybody, just ask yourselves here tonight, would you be happy if you had a 10-year-old and she was told to go home to talk to her dad about his ejaculation and his erections? Would you be happy with that? Would you be relaxed about that? Oh, God, I wouldn't be. I'd be horrified. Indeed, we should all be horrified. So I asked the minister to conduct an urgent investigation to remove this material and ensure that no other child is put in the situation that this poor 10-year-old little girl has been put into.
I'm just disgusted. I have nothing else to say. I'm just really disgusted.
I would love to talk to the teachers that think that this is acceptable. I'd genuinely love to sit down with them and be like, what the hell is going on in your mind?
I would love to watch that conversation as well.
You would have to put like a glass panel between us, because if some shit comes out of their mouth, someone's getting strangled. I
know, but I just know that even without violence, I know that your words will just absolutely annihilate them.
But the thing is, it wouldn't even take someone like me to tear them down, because what they're doing is so deplorable and disgusting that anybody that has a single working brain cell could pick them apart.
Well, it seems like a lot of people seem to be agreeing with them and accepting this, because things have to go through school boards before it gets into the school. So how is this stuff getting approved and getting into the school?
It's
homework.
No, the school board and the people that are approving this stuff, I don't know who it is specifically or what governing body it is specifically, but they're deplorable monsters. But they're not actually challenged by parents, because parents don't even know what the hell is going on. Yeah. It's very recent that parents are becoming privy to this stuff. I remember I was talking about this stuff to people in my family before, saying this shit's going on. You just don't know about it because no one speaks about it. And now it's actually out there. It's funny to see people try to defend it. It's actually pretty hilarious, because the problem with people is that they're very like, they want to play for their team, you know, like they don't want to throw anyone on their team under the bus. They don't want to call certain things out. There will be people saying that it's okay for a 10-year-old to go and talk to her dad about his ejaculations. A 10-year-old. It would be weird if she was 20, let alone 10 years old. It is bizarre. And it's even more bizarre that that is homework. Homework. It makes no sense. It's hard to even have a conversation about it because it does feel like you're in the upside down.
Okay, so let's think about this logically now. They've said go home and talk to your dad about this. She goes home, she talks to her dad about it. What is it that you want this 10-year-old girl to learn? That men get hard-ons and then they masturbate and ejaculate? What relevance does that have to her as a 10-year-old girl? Why does she need to know that?
What I'm trying to understand is the stupid teacher must have realized that most parents, if they find out a teacher has told their daughter to go home and talk about that, is going to be at the school the next morning with a bunch of their friends and God knows what in hand. I don't know why you would tell a child that and think there's not going to be any consequences for that. That is an insane thing for it to come out of your mouth. And I have to imagine that I would like to imagine that a lot of teachers are not down with this stuff, and that it's like a couple in each school, like fringe ones here and there, that have these stupid radical ideas that think it's okay to go and teach this to children, that there's no age requirement to divulge this information. It's never an appropriate time to talk about this in primary school. It's not appropriate to talk about it in secondary school. That is an adult conversation. I'm not saying that sex education should be abolished, but there's ways to do it, and going and telling a child to go home and talk to their father about that is crazy. Like, if there's any dads in the comment section, let us know how you would feel if your little girl of 10 years old came home and said that to you. What would be going through your mind? How would you handle that? Because we don't have children, so I can't tell you 100% how I would feel looking at my daughter, but I can only imagine that I would be consumed with rage. I can only imagine that's the only way it would really go for me. And I'd also be saddened that my little girl I sent her to a place where there's fucking psychos running the asylum. It's honestly, it's sickening. It's actually disgusting. It's actually disgusting. All the teachers out there that are doing this, you guys should just... So if YouTube didn't have censorship.
Beep, beep, beep.
Anything
beep.
you want to add?
No, absolutely not. I'm horrified and mortified and disgusted.
Yeah, you guys need Jesus.